it's Dr. Cree. This is your latest edition of the Dr. Cree and Me show. I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about COVID boosters. I'm Dr. Cree. I'm a board certified family medicine physician, and I help specialize in helping everyday overwhelmed individuals learn to live a healthy, happy, whole life. I feel like when we know better, we do better. So let's just jump right on in there. Hey, girly girl. Let's talk about it, guys. So, in last December, we started with COVID. We got our first COVID shot. Now there's been a lot of talk about Pfizer. Today, Moderna, FDA approved Moderna boosters for certain individuals. So let's run that list. Who should be getting boosters? Right now, today, at this point in time, Pfizer has been all the way approved. FDA, CDC, everybody says if you are over the age of 65, if you are high risk, remember what high risk is: high blood pressure, diabetes, organ transplant, cancer, on chemo. Hey, honey, HIV positive, any of these diagnosed, kidney disease, but you're not over the age of 65, then yes, you qualify for getting a booster, Pfizer booster, right? And if you are working in a area where you are have a high chance of being exposed to COVID, healthcare, occupational hazard is what they're saying, and it's been 6 months since your last COVID Pfizer shot. Hey, Anita, Pfizer shot. Then you are eligible to get the Pfizer vaccine. Okay. All right, so just FYI, that's the rules as far as Pfizer goes. You're eligible to get Pfizer if you meet those criteria. So, like I said, today Moderna has had the conversation. FDA unanimously approved it. The CDC, I think, will meet one day next week, and as long as they have approval as well, then Americans can start getting the Moderna vaccine as soon as the next couple of weeks, booster. And those requirements will be the same. Over 65 years old, doesn't matter your risk. Two, for those who are 18 to 64, if you have organ transplant, if you're immune compromised, if you're have cancer, chemotherapy, HIV positive, high blood pressure, diabetes, that kind of thing, overweight, obese, asthma, when in doubt, have a conversation with your doctor. If you have occupational hazard where you could possibly get it just by being at work, right? So Johnson and Johnson, there has not been a ruling on boosters for Johnson and Johnson just yet. I suspect that in the next month we'll be hearing. Hey, Donna, we'll be hearing about Johnson and Johnson pretty soon, within maybe the next 4 to 6 weeks of that. So that's if you're supposed to get your booster. I don't know if y'all heard, me and my husband had COVID in September, and I was 7 months out from my second shot. 7 months out from my second shot, and I did very, very, very well. I only had a few, my nose ran a little bit. I had a headache. I was really tired, but I still saw patients from the bed through video. Hey, Press. And my husband had a rash on his leg. He had a cough and fatigue, and that's really it. Our symptoms lasted about 5 days, 5 maybe 6 days, and our test was negative on day 9 and 10. Mine was negative on day 9. His was negative on day 10. So I want to say that if you are waiting to get your booster, because at this point it's not like it's required, it's not mandated, you have the ability to make the choice. I was 7 months out, and we did very, very well. Granted, we did get the monoclonal antibodies on the day that we tested positive. However, I really think that our bodies remembered, because we had the vaccine. Hey, Auntie Deborah, we had the vaccine, so our bodies had set up helper T cells, B cells. Our bodies had done these things as to remember. So we have to remember that everybody talks about your antibodies and waning antibodies. Just because your antibodies wane doesn't mean that your body hadn't set up a beautiful situation or beautiful system to remember after you've gotten the vaccine. So, next thing I wanted to tell you guys about was something called hybrid immunity. Somebody text that. So, if you type that in, so if you've had the COVID vaccine and you've had COVID as well, like I did, we are considered to have hybrid immunity. That mean that means we have the spike proteins that the vaccines are triggered to recognize, and then we have all of the other things that come with what you get when you have the innate COVID virus. So there's been a lot of conversation about people who have hybrid immunity are even more protected with all the different variants. So that's something that's been really good. And lastly, I've gotten a lot of questions about mixing and matching vaccines. So if you started out with Pfizer, the recommendation is to finish your booster with Pfizer. They are doing studies now on if you had two Pfizers and a Moderna booster, or if you had two Modernas and getting a Pfizer booster. So they're doing studies on that now, but we've not gotten any true full recommendation on the ability to mix and match. So the goal is if you started with Pfizer, finish with Pfizer. If you started with Moderna, finish with Moderna. In Alabama, we had a lot of vaccine sites that were just popping up all over. You can go to your pharmacy and get your third shot. CVS is giving them, Walgreens are giving them, and some mom and pop pharmacies. So if you're ready to get your booster, it's been at least 6 months. Pfizer for now is the only one that has been approved. The FDA did approve Moderna today, and we suspect that the CDC will follow suit one day next week. So Moderna recipients, after that, you'll be ready to go get your booster. So therefore, over 65, anybody that's been 6 months, get your booster. 18 to 64, if you're high risk, remember that's asthma, COPD, high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney failure, you got an organ transplant, you have cancer, chemo, HIV, any of those things, and it's been 6 months, you are able to get your booster. And if you work in an environment where you are considered to be high risk and it's been 6 months, remember, right now it's just Pfizer. But before the month is out, I do suspect that Moderna will be approved. And we're expecting within the next month or so for them to approve kids ages 5 to 11 for Pfizer. Now, what's different about that, Dr. Cree, is right now the Pfizer dose is 30 milligrams for adults. Kids are is 10 milligrams, so they'll get a third of the dose that you were given, and they are doing well. There is not a whole lot of like, oh my gosh, all these side effects. Everything seems to be safe as far as getting the kids the Pfizer shots. When we can, we're going to get Zoe her shots. We are looking forward to that. Okay, guys. So I just wanted to give y'all an update on boosters, update on kids. So if your kids right now 12 and up, they can get Pfizer and Pfizer only. Moderna has not been approved for kids less than 16, and so we are waiting on formal approval for Pfizer for kids age 5 to 11, so 5 and up. And when I hear that, I'll be coming back on and updating you guys. I'm Dr. Cree, your board certified family medicine physician. I specialize in helping you live a healthy, happy, whole life. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me there. My name there is Dr. Cree, DoctorKre. Pass the word along.